today's format is we're going from 10 down to 1. So no time limit on this or anything. Usually we'll do like the 3-minute clock there, but essentially you're doing 55 reps of all these things. Goblet squat, push up, lateral lunge, and that's 10, you do each direction there. Single arm band row, or if you don't have a band, you can just turn it into a dumbbell row or like a bent over row. Shoulder tap, which is that push up position, and you're just reaching across, tapping your shoulder. Split jump, which is, either a squat jump with feet on the floor, like both feet, but a real split jump is here, one foot in front of the other, squatting down, and jumping up. You can cycle your feet in the middle there. And finally, an upright row. So let me post that again, because you may need to reference that. The thing I don't really love about these untimed, or the circuits that are not timed, is that now, everybody gets kind of spread out in different areas. By the way, while I'm talking, guys, let's go ahead and jump on the roller if you haven't already. So we'll just keep an eye on everybody. When you finish, you finish. I'll probably need to get out of here, probably around 7:35 or so, but you've got the list of exercises there, and we'll walk through them. So with that, let's go ahead and jump on a roller. Giving everything from your feet up to your knees, a quick once over. Point your toes in, point your toes out. Put up above your knees. And unless something needs a lot of attention, you can just give it a quick once over. So I'm just going to try to roll over each part of my thigh, front and back. Once you notice that something needs a little extra help or extra work, then you can just move on. Don't need to hang out. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Don. Nice to see you. Okay. All right, let's move up into your hips if you haven't already. Crossing that ankle over, rolling one cheek. Switch sides if you haven't. All right, let's roll over, go on to all fours here. We're going to use the roller to do this lat stretch. If you don't have a roller, that's okay. You can use the floor. But we're going to put sitting up like in all fours. You're going to have your thumbs facing the ceiling. At the same time, you're going to kind of push your hips back and push your arms forward for that lat stretch. So we come up, push out. You're trying to keep your thumbs facing the ceiling. Thumbs, maybe even palms of your hands. So you'll be almost opening up toward the ceiling as you sit back, reaching low. You should feel that stretch underneath, kind of behind, underneath your armpits, kind of on the outside of your armpits. You can either hold that stretch or go through the reps like I am. And good. Stand on all fours. Let's go ahead and sit your butt back towards your heels. So we're going to put your hand up behind your head. Take your elbow down. Tap your other arm. We're going to rotate up. Try to open that elbow up towards the ceiling. Making sure that your spine is nice and long. Don't pull your head down. Just getting the upper back moving here. Your butt should stay centered on your heels. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. Remember, checking in, making sure you're not pulling your head down towards the floor. And good, let's come up to one knee. Getting that hip flexor stretch. Hands are gonna go up over your head. We're just gonna tilt away. So tilt away from your knee that's down. You should get a nice long stretch down that side from your knee, all the way up to about your armpit. And let's switch sides. Tucking that tailbone under, making sure we're getting a real quad or hip flexor stretch here. Once you get your stretch, get tall, hands on top of the head, and we're tilting away from your down knee, initiating from your head. So think about pointing your ear down towards the ground, and then everything else kind of curls over with it. And good, still on all fours. Let's put one leg out to the side, hands to the floor. We're just gonna rock back and forth here. So pushing those hips back. And switching sides. All right, let's go ahead and stand. And we're just gonna go 20 bodyweight squats here. So 20 bodyweight goblet squats, no weight. Okay, we're just going up and down, checking your mobility, spreading that floor apart as you go down. If you have something where you can check and see, make sure that you're kind of centered on the way down rather than relying on a dominant leg. So we're just squatting up and down, kind of using this time to warm up for one, check our mobility for two. All right, let's step out to the side just for some lateral lunges. We're gonna alternate those. Again, just working our way lower and lower as you go. And good. Okay, so I guess a good way to remember this, there's a lot of exercises there, and they're all in the chat. But it's almost always going to be, so goblet squat is lower body, push up is upper body. Lateral lunge is lower body, then upper body for the row. Shoulder tap is kind of a core, and then lower body, upper body. Okay, so if you get confused on where you are, we can pretty much narrow it down to a few options just by remembering that we're kind of just alternating between upper body and lower body. And that's to kind of keep the suck factor a little bit lower. Because when you start stacking up lower body on top of lower body on top of lower body, that's when things get pretty tiring, okay? So I will start my watch here just to see where we are time-wise. I'll be able to update you, but we're gonna go ahead and get started with 10 goblet squats, 10 push-ups, 10 lateral lunges, and on down all those exercises, and then 9, and then 8, and then 7. So every time you do these, the next time you don't have to do as many. It's kind of easier to handle mentally that way. But we got 55 reps of everything. Okay? All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the goblet squat. I see some people ready to go. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So you pick the weight for the goblet squat. Maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe it's all you got at home. So I'll be doing some coaching here, but since everybody's sort of spread out, it's hard to know what to coach. So I'll peek in, try to get an eye on everybody. Okay. Goblet squat, push up, lateral lunge, row. Remember, you can modify any of these as you need to. So a push-up can become a knees down push-up, even if it means doing whatever, 5 good push-ups, 5 normal ones, and then 5 modified. No problems there. I'll give you guys the option. We'll say lateral lunge or lateral squat. The lunges would just take longer because you're stepping out the whole time. And let's stick to one side, right? So you do all 10 on one side, then all 10 on the other. With the band row, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do the seated version, sitting down, feet out in front of you if you have a band. And the single arm part, you would just row one side at a time while the other one holds on. Another way you can do it if you have a band is to stand on it and pull one hand up at a time. So you're here just rowing in like that. Probably the overhand. If you don't have a band, you can just do a dumbbell, standard dumbbell row. Shoulder tap is after the row. As you look at the split jump there, again, it's going to be, really we want kind of almost a lunge or split squat, and then jump and switch your feet. If that's not an option, okay, we can just go squat jump, standard squat jump where your feet are square. And if you're not leaving the ground, that's okay too. So it's wherever you are with that. You know, it might just be coming up on toes. So you can modify as you need to there. But anything that's going to be faster than a split squat, okay, we want to actually start to come up off the ground a little bit there versus making it a slow, controlled split squat. With that upright row, if you have a dumbbell, you can still do it. It's just going to be about pulling it up like this, holding that hand vertical, or holding the handle vertical. Kettlebell's easier. With the upright row, it looks like this with the dumbbell. Making sure you're pulling your elbows higher than the weight. Once you finish your upright row, you're back up for the goblet squats for 9. Amy's on a mission right now. Amy, you're winning, as far as I can see anyway. On that split jump, you don't have to go all the way down like you would with a full split squat. Just bending enough to get yourself up off the floor with the jump. Just for your reference, we're about 10 minutes into this. So obviously each one's gonna get faster as we go through. I would suspect we'll finish up in 20 to maybe 25 minutes, somewhere in there. It's good, try to keep everything stable during those shoulder taps. So I'm working into my sevens here. As usual, I'll be at kind of a medium speed. I won't be the first one done. Most likely won't be the last one done, although I don't know with this group. That might be. But I'm working into sevens here. About 14 minutes in, so each set gets a little bit, we seem to be taking a minute off of each set as we go through. So the 10s took 6 minutes, the 9s took 5, the 8s took 4, Okay, so we're working our way down that way. There's also a little bit of a learning curve too. You'll be checking the list less. So as we go through, these will get fast. Into the sixes here. You'll notice them start to go pretty fast. Try to stay one step ahead of yourself here so you can transition into the next exercise. So a little bit of intentional up and down here. So we're not on the floor for 3 straight exercises. Work it into fives. Good job, guys. See everybody working through. So as we get closer to the finish here, after you do your set of 3, instead of going through and doing 2 of everything, just wrap up, like instead of doing 2 and then 1, after you do your set of 3, just do another set of 3. Otherwise it takes 20 minutes to transition between everything and you don't really get the feel for anything. So after you've done 5, 4, 3, instead of doing 2 and 1, do 3 again. Otherwise you do 2 push-ups and you've been down on the ground for 1 second and then you got to get up again. Evan sighting. Okay, working our way to a close here. I just wrapped up 4s. Starts to go really fast. After the first or second rounds of like 10 and 9, you think you'll never finish this, but it goes really fast at the end. Right now, just as a time check, we're at 24 minutes. Unfortunately, I may have to cut this one off early. so that I can get down and get to the hockey camp stuff that I got to do. But unfortunately, I won't be able to see you guys finish. I see you guys very, very close, but I got to run. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have an excellent day, and I will see you tomorrow or sometime this week. Have a good finish.